Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire Requiem, for London. It is a cold and frigid night, as winter has set in earnest. The sun setting early into the afternoon, giving the creatures of the night well over a dozen hours to sort their business. It is, in many ways, the time of the year for vampires and kindred, having more freedom to move and hunt than perhaps at any other time of the year. And one of them, Aldry, has sought to make use of this additional time in order to give somebody else perhaps a bit more. Having sent a message to the membership of the Ordo, Aldry has sought an audience with the individual that is colloquially known as the HODLE. More accurately known as the head of the Order of the Dying Light. A sworn order of the Ordo. Surprisingly, you have been met with a response. And you have been asked to attend a brief meeting with one of the Ordo's representatives at King's College in Lambeth. So I presume you will make your way there.
We shall indeed.
Adri, of course, perhaps seeing some value in diplomacy, has brought a counselor along with her.
Don't let me fuck up, Ben.
And if push
You
comes
know I
to
will.
shove, some additional muscle in Alley Cat.
Allie limps along. Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, you found her in a less than presentable state. But you don't think it will stop her from striking any harder than she normally would.
I think, Chris, I just rolled my hunting because I forgot. I got 9 successes on my hunting roll.
Oh, you are full.
And healed!
How much blood did you have when,
was on... Question. Was I smart enough to note this down? Nah. That. I was hungry, I remember.
You were.
I think I was on 3 or 4 or something?
Yeah, if you were hungry, it was probably at about 4 at least.
4.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say you're at 4. I'm gonna need you to make me another check.
Oh. Oh yeah, Blood Pool 4. It is 4.
When you went hunting. Well, I guess you do find Ali Kadamol. Well, we'll see if you find her in a presentable state. I need you to roll me a resolve plus composure, minus
God.
2 dice. You may spend as much willpower as you like on the roll, as it is a hunger frenzy check.
Oh, I don't have that much. Oh wait, no, I do have more willpower now.
Each willpower spent grants you an additional die to the roll, and a single turn of lucidity should you fail. As you drag some poor lone man off into an alley to feed on him.
Okay. I'll spend 2 willpower on it. So going from 5 back to 3. Which gives me 6 extra dice.
How much willpower are you spending, sorry, again?
2 willpower.
2 willpower, okay, 2 additional dice.
2 additional dice only. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Normally willpower, you only spend 1 willpower on a roll, and it gives you +3 dice. For frenzy checks, you can spend as much as you like, but it only gives you +1 dice per willpower spent.
I got 4 successes.
Yes. Also, you have tempted, if I recall.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Which I think is you're currently at -2 for tempted. Because it's stacked.
Oh, if I take 2 dice off, then I still have 3 successes.
Okay.
I think I don't eat him.
You manage to fend off the beast another time. However, its influence over you grows, and your tempting condition is now -3.
Yes. I need to roll again?
No, what tempted does is that it basically, unless you get an exceptional success on a resist frenzy roll, and if you have tempted, or rather, it will give you basically every time you roll resist frenzy and you successfully resist, you get the tempted condition, and it accumulates over time. This beast influence over you grows and grows and grows, and it gives you basically a stacking dice penalty to resist further frenzy checks. Eventually, you'll have to deal with the beast's influence over you.
Oh, so then I have a question then, Chris. Would I still have my tempted condition from the Elysium like months ago? Just for my own bookkeeping. It hasn't really come up in any meaningful way outside of that.
Unless you've killed, fallen to frenzy, or had a meaningful connection with your touchstone, your tempted condition would have not resolved.
Cool. Noted. So I still have that tempted one.
Oh no. I'm sorry, Ben.
By the way, does that mean that the tempted condition, does that mean -3 dice to hunger rolls or to any roll?
To frenzy checks.
Okay.
So any resist frenzy check. So, you don't kill tonight. And you're able to patch yourself up when Eldry comes calling. But, Eldry, it's pretty visible that Alley Cat is clearly distracted by something. And Alley Cat, you can definitely feel the beast has its claws in you at this point. You don't think you can remain in this state for too much longer. If you have more incidents like this, you are probably going to kill someone when you know that.
Oh, okay. And I'm full with blood. Can I spend blood to heal a little bit now?
You can.
Okay. I guess I'll heal 2 health levels. That would cost me 2 blood.
Oh, pardon?
I would seek to heal 2 health levels.
Okay. That's just 2 blood.
That's okay. Then I still have was on 5. I'll be on 7 health now.
Okay. And Let's say you're able to cover that with your clothing. Audrey, Benjamin, you do smell an open wound. An alley cat. But you make your way to King's College. One of the strongholds of the Ordo. One of the only ones they have. And as you make your way in, you actually end up signing in at the reception desk. And you're told to make your way to one of the campus buildings. So you make your way around.
I do want it noted that at least Audrey, I don't know about the rest of you, will be putting down a fake name whenever she signs in.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben will. I mean, Ben has an alt ID, so Ben's just been using that pretty casually.
Is a fake ID in no sense, but yeah, she'll point out, she'll write something else.
The building itself looks, or rather the buildings look fairly blocky. They're not particularly pretty looking, although they have two flagpoles that stick out the side of the building to show off that this is a university. And you make your way inside to one of the many offices that litter the building. This one in particular looks quite nice, even slightly ornate. You think it might be the Chancellor's office. It's quite large. There's sofas off to the side of a little table in the middle. Lots of bookshelves and cabinets. And all manner of figurines and statuettes and plaques and rewards on top of them all. Certificates adorn the wall. Wouldn't say it's necessarily pretty, but it's very professional. And sitting on the other side of one of the desks, it's Alley Cat. You've seen this woman before. Quite a striking young woman, in fact.
Eh?
There we go, and very fair and striking young woman, long blonde hair.
Before.
You have met her before. You remember discussing Chiron Group with her.
Oh. Heck. Oh. We'll go, huh?
One of the more amusing parts of the scene was Alley Cat checking her out.
I don't blame you, girl.
Yeah. Just everybody walks in, checks her out. She's like, what?
Does she look like a Ventru?
She is well dressed, yes.
Okay.
She wears a a black office dress. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Miss Philby, I was not aware you intended to bring guests.
I figured that they would probably provide some better insight or maybe a more persuasive argument than myself because as I'm sure my reputation precedes me, I am not the most eloquent Carthian at times. But my request is urgent, though I am very surprised to see that our friend Mr. Hartwell hasn't been around. I figured he would probably be who we spoke with, but I am glad that is not the case. Audrey just kind of looks her up and down.
I'm gonna hit her with that Auspex.
Nice.
Boy.
Yeah, should be using it a lot more.
Audrey's checking her out. Benji is
Audrey's-
checking her
Checking
out.
her out.
Checking her out.
Just checking. Oh, you people.
She'll rise from her seat. She'll walk around the table. Just sort of take a seat on the, or sort of just sit on the front of the table. He has resigned from his position.
Hey. Well,
Although I am not the individual you wish to speak with. They are very, they're very, very busy. And it can be difficult to arrange a meeting with them. However, I am empowered to act on their behalf and represent them where needed. And if your need is great enough, perhaps a direct meeting with them could be arranged. My apologies, I am Laurel. Ali, I believe we've already met.
Well. Hi.
You were very quiet there.
Oh, sorry.
I got 4 6.
Is it Cat saying hi?
Yeah, she did. I'm sorry, I don't know what's up with my mic.
No, that's okay. You're a bit louder
I thought that was
Better now?
intentional.
Okay.
Yes, better now.
No.
I didn't catch
I mean, I
that.
can make it intentional, no biggie.
I got 4 successes on my Auspex, by the way.
Alright, so
What is she?
Hi. And Benjamin is just reaching out for his beast to glean some information from her. What are you looking for, per se?
What does she want out of this meeting, per se?
You see blood-stained coins passing from your hands to hers.
Okay, so boons probably. All right. Second question: has myself and Alley Cat being here altered the way that she is? Actually, has myself and Alley Cat being here weaken Audrey's ability to negotiate? Considering, Alley Cat and Ben have been very vocally against members of the Ordo Hartwell for some time, and considering Hartwell's prominence,
Do that.
it might it might be more hurtful than helpful.
You sense the wary eyes of Laurel's beast eyeing you up, Benjamin. But you see Laurel's eyes, Laurel's more humane eyes, looking more friendly upon Alley Cat.
Okay. Cool. What endeavor is she looking to push for in these nights? What is she looking to build or pursue?
I might need to elaborate a little bit there.
Is there something? I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Okay. What has been her primary business in these nights? In current nights, if that makes any sense.
What's she been snooping in?
What she's been snooping in or doing, effectively,
You
like in the general.
see the towering offices and the sterile labs of a company called Goodman Pharmaceuticals. And you see chemicals being mixed together, scientists analyzing what appear to be samples of something, petri dishes. You see Miss Goodman speaking before businessmen, what appears to be a boardroom. In a commanding and authoritative fashion.
Oh, this is a Goodman site. If I'm to understand this correctly?
Did you meet Julian Sy?
He never met Julian Sire.
You don't know.
He met. Sure. So Lorelai is invested in Goodman Pharmacy.
So it would seem.
Yeah.
I believe you have one more question.
Yes, I do. What forward. What are your thoughts on the current state of the Ordo? Or what are your feelings on the current state of the Order? Because I think that's a bit more adequate question for.
Your beast senses opportunity.
Cool. Ben will, as Delicat and Audrey are ogling, ogling Miss
Whoa, whoa!
Laurel here.
It's not that obvious. Okay, it's a little more subtle.
A
Audrey's
little
been to
more
a couple
subtle.
of bars. She
I'm
knows
just
how to
gonna
do
say,
this.
oh, she's got like one of her buttons undone. Oh.
Pulls out rolled up newspaper. Whack.
Wow!
Anyway,
One of her little buttons undone, her office dress is a little bit short. I was a little like that.
dump truck ass.
She does have striking
Anyway.
work. She's easy on the eyes.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So yeah, you can pick up where you were, Chris.
So Hartwell's not with us anymore. Okay. Well, that is unfortunate, but let's get down to business because otherwise things are gonna get shitty for all of us. I'm gonna be very direct with you and blunt because I don't like how Kindred like to play word games.
I appreciate that. Neither do I.
I need the Wolf's research, particularly his research on Jonathon Knight.
You want me to? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. You want us to acquire the Wolf's research on your behalf.
Oh, I know you already have it because your last HODLE, Mr. Hartwell, liked to spout about his ability to look at and approve at all the research that went through the Ordo. But yes, it is a matter of importance, maybe life or death, for all the kindred in this domain, having spoke to Mr. Knight myself. Your Ordo has gotten a little big for his britches.
Can I roll a quick intelligence politics to like remember who the fuck the wolf is in particular?
Yes.
Thank you.
Laurel will run her fingers along the table. She'll look at Audrey. How much do you know about the relationship between Dr. Hartwell and the wolf?
Not too much, but I know the wolf's relationship to Jonathon Knight and how Knight was created.
I got one success, by the way, Chris.
Okay. What was the roll for again?
Just to get the general gist of the wolf.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Sorry. For some reason I thought it was an
No, it's no
feature.
problem.
I'm like, it was an event feature. The wolf is a kindred that is not native to London. He is, however, a very old and experienced Ordo who has a great deal of status among them. He tends to come and go, and he doesn't have a lot of respect for the authority of the domains in which he dwells. He doesn't go out of his way to cause problems, but generally his passing is considered ominous. There are a lot of rumours surrounding the research he gets up to. The Ordo Jakul consider him by and large a luminary. And he seems to possess great status and authority, within certain realms of the Ordo society. He certainly has the agency to go where he pleases and seemingly research whatever it is that strikes his fancy. But he's not well liked outside of the Ordo. And he is considered very old and very dangerous.
Okay.
In response to Aldry, Rel will say, that was quite a long time ago, if I recall. It was before my time.
He may have been created a long time ago before your time, but he is about to be your problem. Mr. Knight, that is. Because you see, Mr. Knight is not very happy with what was done to him, understandably so. And the Wolf's project may have backfired on all of us. So, if we could just, maybe reverse that a little bit, that would be great.
How so? Jonathon
How?
hasn't attacked the Ordo in years. Well over a decade from now, if I recall. I barely hear of him at all anymore.
Well, Mr. Knight and I had a little sit down the other day, and have you ever been a snack for an elder?
I thought you didn't like to play with art words and ask.
Alright, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, so if we don't reverse what's gonna happen to Mr. Knight, he's just gonna start killing us all and eating us. Plain and simple. Humans aren't gonna do it very soon. And it is exponentially reaching that point. So, unless we all want to be wiped off the face of this planet, and it just keeps going, and his hunger keeps growing, and he just exponentially starts diablerizing, then I don't know about you, but I would like to stop that before I'm the next meal on the plate.
Yeah, that idea is kind of insane.
So, you're telling me that Jonathon has already reached a point where he is beginning to need to feed on kindred. Is that correct?
And gaining our special abilities at an increasingly alarming rate. And if I am to understand, that was the wolf's objective, but and theoretically it might have sounded nice, but in practicality, it is it's a shit show.
If I may, Miss Laura, sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I am Benjamin Smith.
I'm
but I
imagine you're quite famous.
Yes, I understand. It's still polite to introduce yourself. So regardless of how famous I am, I would love you to. Regardless. Just down there. I believe this presents the Ordo with a unique opportunity. Since the wolf
here seems to be implying that it's a great threat.
No. Well, anything can be an opportunity if you know to work a situation. The wolf isn't particularly liked outside of the Ordo. This is obvious. Every covenant has individuals like this. However, the Ordo working to resolve an issue created by somebody of ill repute might give you a leg up in pursuing more political interests, if that is, or at least not being one of the groups in the city which are looked down upon heavily. I would even be willing to assist you in your particular endeavors. I know that I think Alicat mentioned at one point that you were looking into the Karen group. I can most certainly divert my talents to that. I'm willing to make helping us worth your while.
I'd certainly be willing to consider that as part of our arrangement. But if I may be blunt in turn, what you're asking for is a lot. We do not claim authority over the Wolf's research. He is a native of the domain of Philadelphia. And he is a luminary of our covenant. The only one with the authority to tell him what to do would be the Kogan of the domain itself. And that comes with its own problems. The wolf is a very free spirit. I would not wish to see my covenant brought into disrepair due to an entirely preventable feud between two elders. All because of the plight of a kindred that, for all intents and purposes, wishes we were all dead. I have nothing against Mr. Knight myself, but you have to understand, from the perspective of the Ordo Dracul, we don't exactly have a great deal of motivation to assist him, whatever issues he has.
Even if you're the ones who created that issue in the first place. So you're saying that the Ordo Dracul have no ethos about them.
The Ordo Dracul has long been subject to many rumors about its methods and its ethos and its end goals. The addition of one more doesn't really concern us at this point. We are not exactly the most popular game in town.
What if I simplified my request for you? What if I don't even need to see the research? What if someone in your order were able to maybe do a peer review on it? I think that's what you smart people do. And then maybe just after you have done a peer review on the research, then we can take that and an Ordo could reverse the effects on Mr. Knight. Then it doesn't have to be brought before the whole domain what has happened because of the wolf's research. Because soon it will be the whole domain's problem, not just the Ordo Dracul's.
So if I may ask again, what you're asking for is, well, this is what I have gathered. It doesn't appear that you're looking for the information that may help Jonathon resolve his issue. what it appears to be you're asking of us is that we obtain the research and then facilitate some sort of cure. Or creation that could reverse whatever effects are upon him. Something that would alter his nature, perhaps? Again, I'm not an expert on Jonathon Knight and the particulars of how he functions.
You're essentially picking up what I'm putting down. So, I obviously could not do something with that research, but someone like you or another Ordo could. So, it would do me no good just to have the research in my hands. So, I don't even have to look at it. You don't even have to let your secrets outside of your order. Just fix Jonathon Knight before this backfires on everybody, not just you.
Can I roll an empathy check to see how responsive she's being to this offer, or to the state, to what Audrey's putting down? I was very quiet. Chris,
Sure,
can I roll
yeah.
one? Yeah.
And this is why I bring the diplomat.
They run a diplomat. Oh, I'm in the wrong server.
What are you trying to do, friend?
I'm trying to ascertain how receptive she is to what Audrey's putting down. I want to know where, like, basically, I want to know where a starting point would be for negotiation. You know what I mean? Is that kosher?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool. So actually, you made the front noise.
No, you can make the check.
Sure, that's fine. 5 successes.
That's a success. Okay. So the first thing you notice is that Adrian Alleycat is still ogling Laurel.
Wow. Yes, I've literally just threatened this woman with exposing the Ordo to domain, and I'm ogling her.
Yes, you are. No.
No, what do you actually get? Okay, so you got exceptional success. So, you think offering to actually help her personally is definitely something that will lower the price, as it were. Of course, you also know that's helping her personally. It's not really her job. But she seems to be willing to take a little bit on, take a bribe, take a favor on the side.
Yeah.
To lower the cost of admission. She is hesitant to help you, but she's been fairly straightforward with you. She has said it's because you're asking for a lot.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem too happy about the idea of the Ordo, or the local Ordo attempting to command or make a demand of the wolf. That is something that unsettles her. But she's willing to negotiate over it. You believe you'd have to offer something of significance. So it'd not just be a few minor boons.
And I imagine Ben could also ascertain that any offer from Ben or Alley Cat is substantially more worthwhile than anything that Audrey could offer. In a broad sense.
As with all negotiations, it depends on what's being offered.
Okay. Then we'll just sort of give Alley Cat. He'll give Audrey a look, just like. Sorry. So, what do you want if we are going to go through with an exchange? What are you looking for out of this? It's very easy to make demands of somebody, but it is, from my experience, harder to be the one to put something on the table. Uh, and well, it's a lot easier to negotiate if there are some chips put on the table, I guess. Or at least if we have an idea of what you want in exchange. Or perhaps the order at large.
I've heard along the bloody grapevine that the movement is reconsidering its stance in regards to the rest of the city. Is that true?
That is correct.
So the movement would be interested in the creation of a new barony.
Yes.
The Carthians control a large number of boroughs. Wasn't any other baron, if I do recall.
I think there are some that control four, if I remember correctly.
Just a reminder.
I'm pretty sure we've been through this.
Yeah. Yeah, there is
Python controls four.
Eubanks and Python control for boroughs.
Yeah.
Python perhaps has it best as she controls an inner city borough.
Yeah.
Eubanks just controls a bunch of outside boroughs. We would be willing to assist you if you're granted baronial control over some of those boroughs.
Prince has more than likely already decided who the next Baron would be, but if we could potentially put in a good word for an Ordo candidate.
I feel like her request is less of taking the spot of barony, but more taking territory. Right.
Well,
Less of having an Ordo control Carthian domain, or what was once Carthian domain at that point.
I can't imagine the movement would entertain the idea that an Invictus or an Acolyte should be ruling over a domain they once had free reign over. Would that be fair?
That would be fair.
I can only imagine how the rest of the movement would respond if that were the case. I imagine the position of councillor would no longer be in your hands.
That would be correct.
I would ask for a few things. First of all, the Ordo would ask for free passage and free use of Heathrow Airport. Is that amenable to start? For reference, Ben, Heathrow Airport is on the very far west side of the domain and conveniently rests inside Carthian territory, probably one of the Carthian's biggest assets by far.
Mm-hmm.
As it is the major aerial transportation hub in London.
Just to make sure before we agree to anything that we understand you correctly, you just want to use the airport and be able to come and go freely.
I would imagine also get supplies passed through there.
Of course. We're not using the airport to go on holiday after all.
You should try it sometime. Holiday in Europe is nice.
I always wanted to go to Ibiza.
It's really nice. Also a little crazy, but you know, like what part of Ibiza isn't? You know?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
So Chris, I do as Ben's like been to the ground. How are Carthian Ordo relations as of now? Because I know if I remember, Carthian Ordo relations. How's that going? That way I can see how amenable this would be. Because Ben effectively knows what he's gaining from doing this, right? Which is effectively an inn with Jonathon Knight, which gets us very close to the inner city, if I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to gauge, because Ben also isn't somebody to just throw the Carthians under the bridge for. I mean, like he doesn't like to. You know what I mean? Like he isn't. He's somebody who cares about the opinion of the movement. You know, that's why I asked.
The relationship between the Order and the movement is quite strained. You wouldn't say it's outright hostile, but the Ordo sided with the Invictus during the war, and the Carthians are directly against them.
Yeah.
The Ordo in general aren't well liked in the domain right now.
Yeah.
And the Carthians share that sentiment. Not outright hostile to them. In fact, individual relationships aren't really frowned upon or negatively regarded at all. But the sect as a whole is seen as questionable at best.
Yeah. Do I also know if any kindred directly controls that airport?
Funny enough, not to your knowledge. The Carthians make heavy use of it, but no singular individual controls it. It's like a lot of Carthians get into town.
Yeah, I figured. I meant like if there was like somebody who like oversaw it as like ensuring that it doesn't like the influence the Carthians hold over it doesn't erode. You know, sort of how Draper took the college Stanford had. I can't remember the name. I think it was just Hillingdon University, something like that. Hillingdon Community College. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As I said, it's just sort of used by every Carthian.
Yeah.
Probably the one with the most control over it. Let me see for you. Well, it would have been the guillotines, and they're mostly dead now, so it's sort of up in the air.
It's up. Done. Good to know.
But Laura has asked you if that's amenable to start with.
Yeah, I'm not. No. I know that's why I'm thinking, because like there were some things. Um, I feel like that's. Hold on.
Hold up. Let me message you real fast.
Ben, the negotiator, the actual negotiator.
Ali's just kind of standing there being all crony. It's like, yeah.
And
Nope.
Ali's being a crony.
Ali's being a crony. He's just, smoking cigarettes and watching all this, and is very happy currently. She's not a Carthian, because if she were a Carthian, you have ended up in Ben's position or something like that.
You probably would be the counselor in place of Ben.
Absolutely not. We would probably have been both have been in that position.
I think, like my personal thought is that I think um, Foster would have wanted to keep Ben as just like investigate things.
No, I think Foster wanted you to suffer, TBH.
No, but
Fair.
legit, I think Foster would be Foster is smart enough to realize that Ben gives a way more like well thought over advice than an Ali would be. Ali would just be like, let's set him on fire or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that would not be decent advice. Where Ben would be
Yeah.
like, well, maybe we can do this or that. Ali'd be like, fuck it. I have a motorcycle. Let's ride over the asses. We'll see what happens. What happens next?
Yeah. Ben, what'd you think?
I feel like this could be amenable. However, I do need some assurances before I would give that to you. Most notably, this was in kindred rumors.
Look at Benji paying attention to rumors.
The fucking
They're
do that.
branding campaign.
That rumor's bad.
I just don't have any influences I can use unless it's just like general hearsay.
Unlessing Burrow.
Either. Oh fuck! What time is it? Oh, okay. Well, while you guys are negotiating, I forgot I have to stab myself. But most importantly, because I'm not gonna stab myself yet, I have to stab my cat. Be right back.
Go back.
Hey, kitty. Hello.
I have heard on the BBC there's been a report about the drug Violet re-emerging. And, well, historically, I know that it was a member of the Invictus and one of your own, Meta Thatcher, who were behind its creation. There'd need to be some level of cooperation between the Carthians and the Order on this, and, well, the Carthians wouldn't allow something like you to just freely make Violet, considering its history in the domain. Not necessarily saying that it is you, but an example. You understand, right? I understand that some less than saintly, I guess is the only way that I can put it, things may go through there, but as long as it isn't directly those sorts of materials, I think it would be okay.
The distribution of Violet could be limited, I suppose.
But what I mean is that you cannot use our airport to propagate it, if that makes any sense. Because if we do find it, you just lose access. If that makes any sense.
Why? The distribution of Violet shouldn't harm your operations.
I do not
Because
think
Violet's fucking ugly, that's why.
Oh, don't misunderstand. Personally, I don't care one way or the other, but certain players within the Covenant do. Personally, I see it as more of a academic tool than anything else. Distributing it is short-sighted. It's a very flawed substance. You could tell it was not a pharmacist that made it. Its most significant qualities are that it's more addictive than most drugs. And that it mirrors the qualities of ecstasy, which isn't exactly creative or beneficial to our kind. So free use and access, with the exception of Violet. Would that be fair?
That would be fair. And then using Violet through basically using the airport as a means of transporting Violet would be grounds to remove access. I feel like that is a fair. I feel like that is a fair deal.
There is one other thing we would ask. And that would be, from what I have heard and from what you have confirmed, Carthian intends to take the baronial throne.
That is correct.
Regardless of which way the Carthians decide to go, whatever direction your movement decides to put itself in or decides to take for itself, I'd request that either your council or your future baron grant us some territories under their rule. vassals, if you will. Or, I suppose if it were to be under the current council, landlords. She sort of gestures of her hands if the, express some degree of, yes, I know.
How about we make you a counter offer on that part?
That is how negotiations work.
How about we allow you to come and extend your research to the college and set up a couple of labs within Carthian territory? Giving you more space, more resources, more secrecy. She kind of wibbles her fingers. To continue your research in multiple parts of the domain, so that way if one lab gets hit, you don't lose everything. The college would stay under Carthian domain and under Carthian ownership, but we would allow you to set up some residency there.
That would be ultimately that is a Draper question, though.
But I'm sure it can be negotiated.
It could be negotiated. Sorry, crap, my little project. Oh well.
And I know you liked making paper mache in those labs, but we'll just have to move it out.
I suppose everybody
Gosh.
needs a hobby.
I'm sure it was real big, important paper mache.
Hmm. Lots of bright colors and shapes and.
We would seek Brunel University and Hillingdon Hospital, along with some feeding grounds.
Is Brunel the one under Draper's control?
Check for you.
Feeding grounds do not belong to any particular Carthian. They are just within the domain. And if we are a part of the domain at large, then I'm sure some permissions could be granted.
What I'm saying is we would require some additional neighborhoods to sustain ourselves.
I hate to break it to you, but those neighborhoods aren't as sustainable as you think they are.
But allow me to elaborate. A club or a hotspot of some sort. Having a domain is all well and good, but if we cannot sustain ourselves inside of it, well, it's... middling value. Or...
Oh shit.
I have another counter offer.
I'm all ears.
There are certain locations the Order to Call are interested in.
Such as?
Some we know of, others occur.
You're gonna have to speak in layman's terms.
It is difficult to define in layman's terms. To put it simply, there are locations that the Order acquire an interest in over time. I would only ask that we are allowed to claim 3 of these locations. They are not neighborhoods, towns, large domains. But I cannot give you a precise location because they tend to be as much events as they are places. But they are very important to us.
Without a physical location, I can't make you any promises.
It's difficult to just say, here, you can have whatever. Alright, I have an offer that I can actually provide you. In Richmond, there is the National Physical Laboratory. Does the Order have any want over that?
If you're going to offer us domain, we want it to be larger than a building.
It was less of domain, more of you are offering both areas that you want, that you said that you wanted, were both in Hillingdon. I can't speak for Draper, but I know that there is something within my purview at this moment that I had some personal interest in securing.
Oh, BRB. I might need to go for 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
There.
I am there. T.
Me try. Oh, God, I fucking hate this. God damn. No, I'm just me trying to negotiate. Also, Kat, you have the same negotiation tactics as Jamie.
Do I really?
Yeah, because I had to do a fucking blue book with Jamie where it was just screaming at a Reeve. And then the Reeve was just like, bruh, stop. You're screaming. You have offered me nothing outside of information I already had. Chill out. Calm down.
I mean, if this woman wants to try and go in circles with us, that's fine. But like, Audrey's just gonna be like, all right, that's fine. If you can't actually help me without getting your head out of your ass and trying to like take as much as you can, then I'm just gonna take it to the whole domain, and then it'll just be a
What?
whole Ordo problem.
But that's
Yeah,
sort of my thing, right? Like, I'm listening to these negotiations, and obviously, as not a Carthian, I'm not involved, so I don't really bother with it. But
I mean, it's not a Carthian thing, though.
oh, but
yeah.
why are you guys so like you're offering things to pay for basically to help them? But she's asking you, "Hey, pay me for information so you can help me." I would have long ago. I would have
Well,
10 minutes
you're
ago be like, well, sorry, but this is helping you. Don't
Yeah.
provide me the
well.
info. Fine, I don't need to help you. I don't want to help you. Bye.
This
I
is why
don't
you have
understand why
your.
you're offering.
Well, here's the thing. Here's where the Ben sees it, because Ben is trying to play a larger political game here. Ben wants to have a foot in the door with the other covenants. Effectively, he wants the other covenants outside of the Invictus to look upon him favorably, right? Now, he's already been able to do that with the Link KO, right? So he has an opportunity to do this with the Ordo. If they keep pushing for a lot, he's going to be like, listen, I can't offer you things that I don't have control over, right?
Audrey's gonna be like, I don't know why you keep trying to like bust our balls for all this extra when literally we're trying to help you clean up your mess. So either you clean up your mess or the domain makes you clean up your mess and you get nothing.
Well, think about it from the opposite perspective, right? Let's say that actually a good example is talent here, right? It's
Mhm.
like, let's say it wasn't Alley Cat who handled it, it was Phineas, right? Phineas being like, hey, Talon is doing Matt and just embracing people at random. He's been, just attacking people. I don't think this is representative of the Carthians at large. We can deal with him for you. But then the Carthians are like, well, we like Talon. Let's fucking not, At least in this, like, at least comparatively in a Carthian sort of way, right? From their
Okay.
perspective, They don't have any reason to help the nuclear bomb that is Jonathan Knight, realistically, because like either they help him and that he still hates them, or
But if they fix him, he will have no reason to come after them anymore
this,
because
but
he
it doesn't
won't
help
want
them.
to kill the wolf.
It doesn't help them in the broader sense, right? And like honestly, considering the political red tape that they were talking about, Jonathan Knight just trying to murder the wolf is preferable than trying to go through all the red tape.
Oh no, but he's not gonna try and murder the wolf. That's the problem. That's what Audrey was saying. He's not gonna go after just the wolf anymore. He's gonna go after everybody because he's gonna be hungry.
Right, but the Ordo don't care. The Ordo are at their best, they're just pragmatists. At their best, at worst, they are, I want to do mad science. Leave alone. I want to stay in my basement.
We're not giving them domain. We're not giving them feeding rights. They can have the same feeding rights as everybody else in the whole the whole domain. If they can't feed off of what has been given to them, then they need to go to the blood dolls, to the local feeding spots, where everybody can feed. So they're just gonna have to get over that. We're not gonna give them feeding rights.
Yeah, that's why Ben is offering, like, here, listen, here's an actual physical laboratory. I imagine this has some value for the Ordo. And this is something that, as far as I understand, isn't directly controlled by a Carthian.
Yeah.
Right? It's within my purview. It was something that I was going to pursue.
Right. I'm just letting you know, if you try to say yes to like domain, Audrey's gonna be like, all right, that's it. Negotiations are over. We'll see you at the next Elysium.
I mean, that's fair. Like he is not keen on giving them domain. Like the free passage thing to him, it's like this is something that yeah, like Ben is also trying to weigh like, all right, so we got, because like a lot of what she's asking is beyond Ben's, at least the way that Ben views it, is beyond his purview, right?
Yeah.
He can offer the airport because, well, his immediate thought is, I'm going to assume the airport, basically work on a project with a bunch of other Carthians to basically more effectively have the airport under Carthian control. Because at the end of the day, Ben wants to show that the Invictus can be rivaled in terms of their power, right? Regardless of if they're part of the domain or not. So having some sturdier control over that airport will help. Yeah. The reason why he's going after the Orleans house and why he's on some level willing to put up with these negotiations. Because Ben also can be pragmatic.
Whereas Audrey can't.
Yeah.
Audrey's like, listen, I brought you a problem. It's your problem. You need to fix it, or I'm about to make it everyone's problem, and you're gonna have to fix it anyways.
Right. I mean, the thing is, though, is that if we make it everybody else's problem, we lose I feel like the more we bring this to everybody else, the more that we risk losing Jonathan Knight, because now everybody knows that secret, and everybody now could offer him something. It's why Ben is trying to negotiate, because he views the prize as having a very solid into the inner city, regardless if they're a part of the domain or not.
Oh, yeah.
Is still very valuable for the Carthian movement, which is why he's putting up with this.
I mean, I understand that, but it's one of those things of the Ordo are already kind of in a shitty position anyways, and if something like this were brought out in front of the whole domain, it would just lessen their position overall and could potentially get them kicked out.
I think that if Stanford wanted to do it, he would have done it 10 years ago.
I don't think Stanford knows the extent of the damage that the Ordo.
Right, but if we bring it to Stanford, we just gave Stanford a shit ton of leverage over Jonathan Knight.
Until Jonathan Knight just kills him.
No, here's the thing, right? Let's say we give it to Stanford, and Stanford is now able to fix the issue, right? He's able to basically just go to the Ordo and say, you either do this or, how would you like the other two covenants coming into your domain killing you all? You know what I'm saying? Is we we're losing the strength of the deal we have with Jonathan Knight by involving any other covenant.
Not really, because he just said he wanted it fixed.
Right, here's the thing, right? You tell. Who would you tell if you're going to tell the city, right?
Oh, I mean, I might go to the queen.
Oh,
I wouldn't go to Stanford. Audrey hates Stanford.
oh no, that'd be worse because the queen would definitely assume him into the crone. With Stanford, at the very least, there's a shot. Like the queen, Ben trusts less than Stanford too in this particular situation. Like the queen's a right bitch. Like the Stanford is still like a shadow of the man he once was.
Stanford, yeah.
Okay, because
It's still
Audrey,
moderately better than the queen.
Audrey may or may not know something about the queen that makes the queen a little taboo and sus anyways.
The queen is definite. Like,
You ever notice how
think
young
I'm
the
head
queen
of the
looks?
car- I mean, oh,
Listen,
Yeah?
man, Alley
No?
Cat doesn't know shit. And if Ben
Cat
pokes
doesn't know shit.
shoves his
Fair
nose
enough.
into the cacophony again like that, he's gonna get his shit rocked. So I'm not. Like Ben already had to kick the fucking cacophony to get shit on a.
I'm sort of in trouble with the queen or about the queen in regards to the queen. I was a little too sassy, and I'm now suffering the results.
You've
of the
been brought in
sassiness.
line as you should. Station? What is this?
He's back.
God, he's back.
You mentioned him, and back he comes. He's still muted, so we can still
like a
talk to him
fucking
until he
serious-
realizes that he's muted.
Yeah, like
I'm back.
Hello, is that recording still going?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you have
Oh,
an
good.
interesting
I'm glad-
surprise when you go to listen to it.
I'm
Excellent.
glad
Oh,
that
no.
entire
Does it-
conversation is on recording.
What is it automatically like? Is it tied to Chris? Because then it would have like to the AFK channel with him instead of here.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well,
Yeah, I wouldn't have heard it.
Damn, it's okay.
Aww.
You don't have to hear.
Anyway.
You don't have to hear about
Holly.
us all being like thirsty bisexuals over your face clan characters. It's fine.
Excellent. Well,
By the way, I'm stealing that face.
David's gonna date her, I guess.
Yep. Deva's gonna Deva. All right, cool. So Ben had offered some things.
National
Yeah,
Chemical
he-
Laboratory and
Yeah, he is very reticent to offer. He is more or less arguing that like, here is something I could very direct. So actually, let me finish Ben's statement. I can offer to you the National Physical Laboratory. It was something I was considering going after beforehand. Obviously, I'd like to keep, like an ear in, right? But I'm willing to work with you on that. The problem is with a lot of these other offers is while I am a counselor, this would still have to be ran by all the other counselors. Is kind of my thought here. I'm not trying to be an autocrat. Here.
Can't be an autocrat here. The rest of
No.
us will cook him out.
Yeah,
that
like
seems like something you will need to resolve with your council. Or your baron. Whomever
Yes, this
it ends up
is.
being.
I am willing to bring this to them. I'm willing to have these negotiations. It's just that I can't. I do not feel comfortable exerting my power in that sort of way.
I'll
There's a
be
reason I
blunt,
have the reputation I do.
I don't deal in promises and maybes.
Well, I can promise you this. If this doesn't get resolved, then it's going to become the domain's problem. You guys already aren't in good standing with the domain anyways. So if you don't fix it and you don't keep trying to, steal every penny we have, metaphorically, whatever, then it becomes the domain's problem and then your problem that you have to fix anyways. So do you want to play nice and fix this for a reasonable amount, or do you just want to have to fix it for free?
You're asking us.
Do I need to roll intimidation, by the way? I have been making a lot of threats.
Yeah, roll me manipulation test intimidation, and I will have her contest if her resolve plus composure. Okay. Scary Aldry.
Audrey is a scary girl.
A single success.
Only one success.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Laurel stands her ground.
It's fine. I just wanted to make sure I didn't wimp out.
That's fair. She didn't score that many successes, but she did get more than one.
Or we just piss off the wolf and it becomes everybody's problem anyways.
Oh no.
Because
that'd
if
be
you won't
really
bring with that
bad.
research, I mean,
Oh, no,
well-
the Order would just watch with popcorn. Like, that's what I do. No.
Ordo is a luminary of our covenant. We would not allow him to be harassed or assaulted and it not be met with consequences.
and again, everything goes public and we go round and round in this little merry-go-round. So you were also saying Philadelphia, huh? That's who would have that research anyways.
The wolf is in possession of his own research.
I would be remiss to think that the Ordo did not keep copies of research.
It depends on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, not all kindred are inclined to share. Not all research is considered useful to the wider whole.
All right. So I've given what I can offer here, which would be National Physical Laboratory and access to the airport. As a show of good faith, I will let you know that Meadow Thatcher's finances are being investigated into by head of the police. Hold on. Here, go back into my blue books. Oh my god, I hate my computer. Why does it keep disconnecting? Saskia, this should be in your blue books too. Just
Yeah.
pull it up for me. What was it
Book of things.
specifically?
Let me get my blue book. It's was it the like really long blue book thingy? Like
Yeah, the long one. It should be
the
early
long
on in it.
one. And behind the curtain. Mission reports. Did you want to know?
It was the part about Meadow Thatcher. It should be with
Yeah. Scott and George Jackson. Referencing how the current drug busting have been a huge success to push out several of the major gangs from the inner city. Also referenced the drug violet, which has since been given an official designation. It's currently being prioritized by the police. In addition to the several gangs you are aware of are kindred controlled. There's also information detailing the next step in a series of investigations into the city's financial corruption, which involve freezing the assets of everyone involved and making dozens of arrests. Many of the names aren't familiar to you. Alarm bells get raised when you see several that are primarily and then there's a couple of name mentions, Meadow Thatcher being one of them.
Okay.
There are just a few names, but it's clear police are rapidly owning all kindred influences and have already succeeded in stripping significant amounts of kindred power from the city infrastructure. The police is very much keeping these investigations from the local government. They are waiting on the results of an investigation into the city council before becoming more transparent with them.
So he'll basically give them the bit about Meadow Thatcher and sort of like, at least in a way of trying to be like, hey, listen, I'm trustworthy, like more or less, not just in terms of reputation, but actually put forth like I am trustworthy implicitly, right? Is what I'm intending to do with this.
Okay.
If you need me to roll something, I guess.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I believe the impasse we're at is that I am representing my sect and you are representing yourselves.
Wouldn't it be more accurate in this case that we're all representing the City of London? Am I being like very, how do you say it, patriotical? I don't know.
Not at all, I'm afraid. I'm representing Ordo. It is my, well, I guess it's the closest thing I suppose I have to a profession within kindred society.
Sure, the City of London will be very grateful. Sorry, I'm just messing.
Quite alright.
Well, if we truly are at an impasse and these negotiations are going nowhere, then I guess we'll just have to let events develop in the way they're going to develop them.
Well, what I am saying is that, as I am representing my sect, what I am seeking as a representative is something of a scale that is above that of an individual. So, you would have to offer more personally of yourselves to compensate.
I mean, what else could we offer? Research funding, fix your
Actually,
fucking cars.
interesting, because so far all you've been asking for is stuff that we personally don't own. We've been
No,
asking for stuff of like domain and stuff like that. He didn't ask anything personal of them.
Well, that is because I believe they would be able to accommodate such requests. It appears they're able to do so partially, or I don't mean to imply you're not here when I say they, but
I mean, it's fine. I'm
She
basically not here. It's
she gestures back and forth between the Carthians and the one acolyte. Um,
no, I totally get it. Like, I'm not here. I'm a member of the Crone.
well, no, I'm
Not
explaining this
involved
to
in
you. What I meant to say is that I do not wish to offend Aldrian Benjamin.
Like, as long as everybody's happy with it, who am I to talk about it, right?
Well, I see that my problem is you are happy to grant access to Heathrow, but have seemed to have difficulty parting with anything else.
it is that having the major airport is a substantial point of
The
Carthian.
only thing of worth the Carthians still have, let's be honest.
We have a few things. Let's find that. I'm fine. I'm somebody who would be fine with allowing the Ordo to have access, at least in some capacity, in that endeavor. That's fine. Because it doesn't as directly infringe on the rest of the Carthians directly, right? You all passing in and out through the airport's a little bit different than you having feeding grounds.
It can be very,
And
very
I am
damaging
still
to the Carthians, in all honesty, but that's me.
no, it could be, but I'm willing to make that. I'm willing to make that as a major concession. However, then it is very much of you're asking for a lot past that, at least in my opinion. As I did say earlier, I am willing to assist you personally. I mean, my reputation, as you said, precedes me.
You're asking us to cross an elder of our own sect.
That is fair. I'm not saying that there isn't a reason why this is happening. I'm just saying that it is a difficult negotiation for either side.
It's not difficult for me.
Well, difficult for the Ordo
I've
at
been
large.
empowered to make the necessary concessions and offers.
But what I'm saying is that the deal, since the deal is over the wolf, correct? Right? About you crossing him, that is the issue. While that is, while you're empowered to make these decisions, it is a concession for the Ordo to basically stab in the back somebody of note, especially considering your position in the city. I'm not trying to downplay that. What was I going to say?
Are
No,
you
didn't
not
know
a
where I found
councillor?
that. I am a counselor, yes.
Then surely you're empowered to make the necessary offers and concessions.
Not without speaking with the rest of the council. Again, this is a democracy, not an autocracy.
It sounds
Yeah,
more
look,
like a bureaucracy from where I'm standing right now.
true. If that is or isn't the case isn't the issue, is that I view my position as a responsibility to the people, not something that I should be throwing around the Carthians' infrastructure.
I'll be blunt, Councillor. I don't give a damn about what the ideology of the Carthian movement is.
And that's fine.
But I have been very patient. I am still patient. But I am willing to make the concessions that you have asked of me, despite the fact that it involves a very problematic decision against a luminary of our own sect. And there are many other far crueler words one could call the action that you are asking myself and the local Jakul to undertake. You're asking us to assist our enemies at the expense of one of our elders. It is, I suppose, to give you an equivalent, asking
What
the
would be like
movement to cross its own specifically for the benefit of the king. I doubt the Carthins would even consider doing that.
Didn't we have a whole war about that maybe like a decade ago, where that essentially happened, give or take?
And I'm sure you
I'm
can
going.
understand how frustrated I am when the response I get to most of the requests I have made is, I'll talk to my friends and see what happens. Because I'll be perfectly honest, we have been honest with each other so far. It appears as if you're using the bureaucracy of the movement as a shield to not commit to anything. Now, I don't know whether that's true, but that is the impression I have got. And I can tell you your rivals would not have done so. There would be those empowered there would be those sent down empowered with the ability to make the decisions necessary, and they would have made them. As I'm sure you've recognized, we would not be considering this action if we were fans of the wolf. But it doesn't change the facts, it doesn't change what is being asked of us and the nature of what we would be doing. In fact, personally, while there is opportunity in this, I'm not particularly fond of the concept itself. The Ordo is split on the wolf, but I take sect loyalty quite seriously. So, if you can't make concessions on behalf of the movement, I would accept a large amount of prestation from each and every one of you. That would suffice.
I'm gonna press on the do while she's talking. Because I don't have to speak or do anything but stare at her. Gonna aspect circuit. Effectively using her little spiel as a way to glean more information from her.
Okay. Yeah, you can all roll me with sympathy as well if you just want to get her general mood.
I get her general mood is patient but annoyed.
I feel like it's
I think the patience is waning though.
Yeah.
the patience-o-meter is rapidly reaching 0, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, in all fairness, I think I have offered more than everybody else here, so it's not.
To be fair, you're a
What?
counselor.
Yeah, in all fairness, yeah, and that
Yeah, she
is
ripped
fair.
into you the most.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, what do you think I have to offer regarding Carthian domain? You're funny.
No, you're here.
It's not even for the
Here,
Carthians, it's for the domain at large. Like, jeez.
yeah, like
It's a fucking
Like-
professional courtesy at this point.
like I understand why she's mad at me, but also if I wasn't here, she would literally have nothing. Like Audrey wouldn't have shit outside of
Aw, that's not fair.
or wouldn't have nearly as much as Ben does.
She'd
Oh,
have
yeah, no.
majesty.
That's true. I'm getting really ready to pop that, by the way, so I
Oh
hope
my
y'all are aware.
God. Ben just wants to leave.
Holly as well. Like,
So, what's your role, Ben?
I'll roll with sympathy. Why not?
Well, you're gonna roll specs again, weren't you?
Yeah, I was gonna roll. Yeah, actually, yeah, no, I wasn't gonna roll aspects. Yeah, I do have. I'm half tempted. God, Ben literally getting flung into everybody's problems and eating shit. Cool, 3 successes.
Okay. What do you ask?
Just thinking.
Don't pressure him, but
Don't pressure me. Jesus
I'm gonna
Christ, because
pressure.
this is Matthew keeps taking the L for everybody else. The game.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Well, no, because here's the thing, right? Is that Ben knows that Audrey will do something obscenely stupid if he does it. Like he'll make that Ben may take the L, but Audrey will make it worse.
Okay.
So he feels the need to do something.
Whatever helps you sleep during the day.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing. Nothing helps Ben
Nothing.
sleep during the
Nothing
day.
else Ben during
All
the
of this
day.
just contributes to a shorter
Oh.
lifespan.
Yeah.
sure Rodney helps Ben sleep during the day.
No. No, he
No,
doesn't.
While you're
Ben.
thinking, or I will just go, I have an offer for you. Let's start
Refuse?
from scratch.
They
No
can't
Heathrow, no
refuse.
nothing, no Carthian related. matters or debts or anything of the sort. Before, however, I make this offer, Alley Cat, are you here representing yourself or acting on their behalf?
It's a good question. I'm here because, well, Audrey asked me to come, and we've basically been friends. So, make of that whatever you want. And since I know all of you, that might be helpful. Well, so I don't know. Are you considering whether I should stay here or not?
No, nothing like that.
Alright.
Okay. Who among you wants this matter with Jonathon resolved?
That would be me, considering Jonathon is a personal friend. So whatever you're gonna ask it of me.
I'm willing to help out if there's any kind of shit going on. It's basically yes, solving shit.
Out of character, I'm just calculating how mean I should be.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Audrey's been a bitch.
I guess first question is, because I do have some questions. I've been thinking. To what degree do you want? Like Ben, she's already kind of given this information. I feel like I get kind of aspects of it for nothing because I don't feel like. I guess how quick is she at this point to just be like, nah, fuck off and leave?
About to make us another offer from scratch, so.
Yeah.
Your beast senses an increasing bubbling rage from her own beast.
Cool. Cool.
Some more questions?
Specifically, because like, no, I don't have any more questions. It was kind of a waste, to be honest.
Okay. You do use a blood point for this level of all specs because you've used it twice now.
Yeah, no, I know. Ben will just raise a finger. You know what? I've been stupid. I'm sorry. Within Richmond, I do have jurisdiction. I'm willing to provide some hunting grounds. However, every order within Carthian domain will have to be subject to Carthian law and the benefits and penalties that will come with it. You want to play in Carthian territory, you have to be willing to play by their rules. Is that a fair offer?
How large would these hunting grounds be? What facilities would be available to us?
I would need to take a look at a map and plot this out. I'm willing to work with you on this. Hell, I'm willing to stay in this room until we figure it out. I don't have a direct answer because I don't have an immediate census. I'm sorry, I'm specific.
I guess it's a maquette thing.
It is a maquette thing. I guess. If that isn't satisfactory, feel free to continue.
Still want to hear that offer now. I'm sorry. Like, even if the offer is cool, and that might be me.
Does she respond to that? Fuck.
I'll discuss that with you in a moment. My offer, Audrey, was that you would assist us in some of our research. For a month.
What kind of research?
Whatever the dying light requires. Outside of permanent harm to your person.
Fine.
So no, if you're
Psyche.
curious, we do not intend to kill you. That would be, well, say what you will about us. We do have some manner of an ethos.
Audrey just sticks a hand out. Like, that's the best offer I've gotten all day. Fine.
Oh. Just her body, or also her psyche. Don't need to have a very complete, like all 10 fingers and toes together. Audrey can only blabber like a fish. Blah, blah, blah. I know there's little more she does right now. We appreciate the part that still has human words.
Well, are we gonna shake on this or not?
Well,
But
just
the
look at
only
Benjamin
thing,
if he wants to. Oh, sorry.
no, but the only thing is, you don't touch Carthian territory, just me.
That is why I'm asking you.
Fine.
I don't like this.
How much would Foster kill me for letting this happen?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to let this happen. You can walk out of this room.
That is. Is there a politics roll I can make to know how much Foster would like lynch me for this? Fucking just a knife.
No, you're not sure. You don't know the inner workings of Foster's mind.
I don't. Fair enough.
And he's not here to tell you what it is.
You can always step out and go make one of those 3 phone calls.
Laurel will, shake her hand. Then it is settled.
So stupid. And she's just speaking to Audrey, right? Like, she doesn't care. Like, she thinks it's a smart deal on the cool part, but she thinks it's incredibly stupid. She will say that out loud.
You have more stomach than most, Audrey. I'll give you credit for that.
And you now have in your hands someone who has, like, a lot of influence, indirectly, sure. Carthian territory, and can use that.
Ben gives
Smart,
Alleycat this
Audrey.
very. Alleycat gets this look from Ben, which is the same sort of narrowed, almost like military grin, like stare he gave you the same day we all went to go rescue Sadie.
Mm.
That is the look he gives you, very specifically.
Oh dear.
Would you like to talk the specifics of how we're going to work this out now, or would you like to send me a memo later?
You're really not going to listen to reason, are you? You're just going to be like, oh, this is cool.
I just shook on it. Allie.
You're an idiot. I already told you shouldn't do it like that. Look, I get it. I get you don't want to have the Carthians hurt or whatever. That could happen by you experimenting.
If you want to discuss this, you can do so later. But I need to discuss the specifics of HODLE now.
Ben, want to go to Foster? Have him frenzy before she returns.
Question. Does the remainder of the deal that we had stand? Or has that been wiped?
HODLE's arrangement supersedes everything else. So you need not worry about granting us domain or the like.
Fair enough.
HODLE here has taken that burden on your behalf.
Phrasing.
I was going to say that was not on our behalf. She did that purely on her own.
Regardless, Miss Laurel, I appreciate it. I appreciate that you gave us your time, especially since you did not know that we would be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was cool meeting you again. Smart deal.
Yes.
If you do wish to continue your investigation of Kaharan Group, I would be happy to get in touch with you.
I'm
That's an
happy to
area
make
I
a deal
believe
with that for
everybody
you.
will pardon.
To make a deal with that.
I'd be willing to investigate Khan Group purely because there seems to be something up, and it is in my nature to get to the bottom of it. But I'll leave you and Audrey to it.
Oh,
But
I
I'll walk
actually have
out.
an offer.
Share
whatever information that I get, Chiron. Anything. Share it with you freely. But that deal goes null and void. Said Audrey.
The deal has already been made. I'm not going to go back
You
to
hold
it
the
now.
contract. Oh, of course you wouldn't.
Why would I?
I know, you're absolutely right. Why would you? Stupid fledgling that shouldn't be left out. I need a smoke. Ben, come on, let's go.
Oh, Ben's already left.
Oh yeah, oh no, in that case, Ellie's gonna go behind Ben. Shaking her head.
I like how Ben came around with a fucking territory thing. Thanks. Actually, Chris, question: do you want us to leave the RP channel?
Yeah, sure. You guys go to the chat room.
Okay.
Cool.
Have
Bye. Have fun, cat.
Thanks. Well, how's it going there, Chris?
It's going great. Kind of saved it there, the last minute.
Yeah.
But now to work out exactly what you'll be doing and more. So, Laurel will just well, she'll sort of, because she's sort of been sitting on the front of the desk the whole time. She stood up when she got a bit irate, but she sat back down when she calmed down. You see her take a deep breath. I am very sorry about that.
quite all right. I'm sure I would probably react the same way if someone were to arrange a meeting, come into my office, basically tell me, hey, fix your problem and you're fuck up, or basically someone else will make you do it. So,
It's not even my office. Mine is far nicer. I don't like all the figurines and statuettes and it's so tacky. This is a college. Whoever owns this office is too busy showing off to actually do anything of relevance. You can tell who somebody is by how they adorn their office.
I'll keep
Yes.
that in mind in the future.
Do you want to take a seat, or would you prefer to stand?
I'm sure I'll need to sit down for this. She'll just take a seat.
She'll take a seat on one of the sofas. She'll just sit next to you. The Order of the Dying Light, a la our research division, has a very broad array of topics. You would be assigned to the head of Dying Light. And I would attach myself to you to ensure that the arrangement between yourself and the Order was kept. This is on your behalf.
All right.
I will be straight with you. You can expect to be dissected, injected, and manipulated in a large number of ways. We are currently researching 3 broad topics: that of the manipulation of the beast, the potency of the blood, and the inner workings of kindred biology. In particular, how kindred have adapted their condition to perform certain feats that appear to be outside the purview of sorcery and disciplines, seemingly wholly unique abilities. I wish I could be more specific, but, well, I am not of the Dying Light, so some of the details are lost to me.
Fair enough, but I'm sure for now that is probably enough details. So that way the maquette can't go diving too deeply.
Yes.
So will I need to be staying in Ordo territory? Because if that is the case, I will need to go and collect some things. And you are more than welcome to come with me while I do so.
You'll be required to stay with us for a month. There is also another matter that we would have you assist us on. One I believe would be better suited to your talents.
Which is?
You spoke of the distribution of violet.
I see. So you're wanting me to peddle violet?
No. We have reason to believe that those that are becoming a liability.
Oh. Now that I can definitely get on board with.
Specifically, that Violet has left a visible trail back to the doors of some kindred we prefer would not meet an violent and anonymous end. And we believe they're currently heavily endangered as a result of that trail. So we'll need you to cut the cord.
That might actually be arrangeable.
We have all the information, but we'll need to act relatively quickly.
With everything that's going on in the domain, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
You certainly have my respect, Aldry. Few kindred would have made such a decision.
People keep finding out that I'm not most kindred, so here we are.
We pay a very heavy toll for progress. Love and legacy are often things we have to leave behind in order to move forward. The Ordo tends to recognize sacrifice when it is made. So I hope that the rest of my sect will recognize it.
I hope so too. Now that I somewhat know what I'm getting myself into, and assuming that you and your sect are good on your word, when will you be helping Mr. Knight?
Because of the nature of our arrangement, we can start immediately. I'll inform the Dying Light, and it will become a priority.
Thank you.
The wolf will not be pleased. And we will not impede him should he choose to take action. But I will inform you if he intends to do so. Consider it a courtesy.
Much appreciated.
Well, we wouldn't want to lose a partner over a misunderstanding.
That would be just dreadful, I'm sure. We should probably go collect my things. Maybe leave a note at my house so that way you don't have a very angry Carthian elder bursting down your door. And, yeah. And then I guess we can get to it.
Very well. If I may accompany you.
Of course. I hope you're not too attached to the speed limit. Audrey just kind of smiles.
I'm quite used to my life being put at risk by other people. Did you know that in my mortal days I was shot outside my own place of business because my brother decided to cross the wrong people? Made national news.
Interesting.
Not for me, I got shot.
Well, it's interesting that you were famous so early on.
I still am. Although I have to take a bit more of a backseat now.
Well, I know the nights are long, but we should probably not dally.
Yes, let us part. Or rather, let us go. I'm so used to letting people just leave this office and go about their night. Yeah, I think as the two of you leave, we can end the scene there on a rather grim arrangement.
Yep. I do want it noted that the touchstone is staying locked up at the garage.
Fair enough. And we will end our scene there. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you all for just watching. We'll see you all next time.